Start 9:30.
The exercise of NRC is unprecedented. It has no parallel in the country and perhaps in the world.
As a journalist, I have been traveling for years to tell stories, and today I am flying out of New Delhi to tell a story that affects the lives of 3.29 crore Indians in the northeastern state of Assam. Each one of them have been asked to prove their Indian citizenship.
मैं इंडियन हूँ, इंडियन रहूँगा।
बांग्लादेशी बोले कोई वो तो लगी।
It's a story that matters both professionally and personally to me because I am also one of them. So next stop is going to be Guwahati.
About to start. Please wait.
Zone 4. The NRC is a massive administrative exercise that took 3 years, more than 1200 crore rupees and 63,000 personnel. All this to find out illegal foreigners living in Assam. The cutoff date for qualifying for the NRC is 24 March 1971. The very next day, on 25th March, the Bangladesh War of Liberation started. Millions of refugees streamed into India. Many never went back to Bangladesh. But exactly how serious is Assam's illegal foreigner problem? Here are some numbers. In 1971, amongst the refugees were 6.97 million Hindus, 5,41,000 Muslims and 44,000 others. 3.15 to 3.5 million people left from Bangladesh to India between 1951 and 1961. According to Myron Weiner, if Assam's population increased at the same rate as the rest of India from 1901 to 1971, that is at the rate of 130%, her population would be 7.6 million rather than 15 million, a difference of 7.4 million. According to the Election Commission of India, between 1951 and 1971, the number of voters in Assam increased by 51%. But the increase was an abnormally high 89% between 1971 and 1991, while the next 2 decades it again dipped to 53%. Out of the 3.29 crore people who had applied for the NRC, only 2.89 crore could make it to the completed draft list. That means 40 lakh names were left out.
লাষ্ট লিষ্টখন আব্বাৰ নামটো আহিছিলে, এবাৰ আম্মাৰ নামটো আহিছে, বাকী আমাৰ ঘৰৰ ল'ৰা ছোৱালী এজনৰ নাম অহা নাই, 4জনৰ ভিতৰত এজনৰ নাম অহা নাই।
मैं अपना घर माटी है यहाँ, फिर भी नाम नहीं है, तो इस चीज़ के लिए जब मन में थोड़ा तकलीफ होगा ही।
My next stop, a place which has always been described as a hotbed for illegal immigration, Barpeta. So why did so many people didn't make it to the NRC? The NRC officials say that these people didn't have enough documents to prove that they are Indians. But is it so?
टू 2014 में मैं रिटायर होके जब आया तब मुझे पता चला मैं डी वोटर हूँ। फॉरेन ट्रिब्यूनल कोर्ट में जाके अप्रोच किया। 2016 को कोर्ट ने डिक्लेयर किया आई एम नॉट द फॉरेनर। जय हिंद। मेरा छोटा भाई इंडू का एनआरसी में नाम है, मेरा पिताजी का 1951 का एनआरसी में नाम है।
To more Mrs. passport 6/11/38
1938.
1938.
Yeah. This is a land record that dates back to 1938. It's in the name of his great-grandfather. His father's name is in the part of the legacy record, which is very essential for the NRC. This is his identity card of Air Force ex-serviceman, which says that he was a sergeant in the Indian Air Force for 35 years. He has an Indian passport which clearly says his date of birth is 1961, which is way before the 1971 cutoff date for the NRC.
जानबूझ के वो लोग नाम नहीं दे रहे, कुछ ना कुछ गलत एंट्री बना के उन लोग बस कटना है नाम, स्पेशली एक विशेष क्लास का।
हमारा जन्म इधर है, मेरा माँ बाप का जन्म भी इधर है और हम हो गए विदेशी।
Just like every monsoon, Gamariguri village in Barpeta is facing the wrath of the Beki river. But for those living here, it's not the river they fear. The fear of not making it to the NRC is far greater. Now, ever since the NRC process was announced, it has been alleged that the people of a particular community have been targeted. They have been accused of being Bangladeshis just for their religious beliefs. Shehnaz Khatun's father, Muhammad Shah Ali, was declared a D or doubtful voter in 1997. Since 2016, he has been in a detention camp. Shah Ali's family show me documents dating back to the 1940s. Yet they could not prove that Shah Ali is not a D voter.
কেস কৰিল নহল ঠিক নহল পিছত দিল্লী সুপ্ৰিম কোৰ্টত কেস কৰিছে তথাপি ঠিক হোৱা নাই পিছত আৰু ঘূৰি আহিছিল কেস কৰিল ঠিক হোৱা নাই এতিয়া আপোনালোকে যদি ভাল কৰি নিব পাৰে এইটোৱে আমালোকৰ আশা
বহুত টাকা খরচ হয়েছে 8 লাখের মতন খরচ হয়েছে গরু আছিল কত মাটি আছিল সম্পত্তি সব বিক্রি করে সব ক্যাশে দেয়া হয়েছে
আটা হয় 1951 চনত এনআরসি আছে আমাৰ আইতাৰো 1951 চনত এনআরসি আছে আমি ভাবিছিলোঁ এনআরসিত আমাৰ সকলো পৰিয়ালৰ নাম আহিব নাম আহাৰ পিছত ডিটেনছত কেম্পৰ পৰা আমাৰ দেউতাক এনে এৰি দিব অগপ চৰকাৰ অসম চৰকাৰ গঠন কৰিলে তেতিয়া মুছলমান মানুহৰ নামৰ আগত দি বহাই দিছে দি বহাই দি এনেহেন হাৰাশাস্তি কৰি আছে অনলি মুছলমান মানুহক
Rafiqul has reasons to doubt the intentions of those in power. Assam has a bloody history of violence against minorities. I am on my way to my village to find out if me and my family we have made it to the NRC. I have made a short stop at Nelly. Now this is the place which witnessed one of the worst massacres in India's history. More than 1800 Bengali-speaking Muslims were massacred here on 18 February 1983. Now when we tried speaking to the locals here about that day, hardly anyone wanted to speak to us. Then we found a 24-year-old young man, Muhammad Nabi. Muhammad had lost 3 members of his family that day. His siblings. The eldest was 9 years old and the youngest was just a baby. But right now, his immediate concern is not the massacre that happened in the past, but it is the NRC which will decide his future.
যেটা আমরা জন্মের আগে চলে গেছে এটা আমরা মনের মধ্যে ভাবে নিছি স্যার যেটা হয়ে গেছে এটার কোনো বল না আবার যেটা শুরু করছে এটা তো আবারই হয়ে যাবে ভাবতেছি যখন মানুষের ডকুমেন্টস থাকা অবস্থায় দেশ ছাইরা দিতে লাগবে তখন কি করতে লাগবে তখন মরতে লাগবে মরা কি হবে মরা তো এইভাবেই মরতে লাগবে
All the people who I have met so far, are they correct when they say a particular community has been targeted? In Assam, rather than religion, language and nationality has created bigger problems between the indigenous Assamese and Bengali-speaking people. No NRC official would come on record to confirm this, but these 40 lakh people who have been asked to prove that they are Indians, most of them are Bengalis, both Muslims and Hindus. The mandals of Dakhin Bheluguri are Bengali-speaking Hindus. 33 family members had applied for the NRC. 6 didn't make it to the completed draft in spite of having land records and legacy from 1965.
আমরা 4 জন এক ভাই 3 বোন তে 2 বোনের আইছে আমার আই নাই বাবার লিখেছি ডাটা দিয়া করলাম পরে আইছেন আর কি 2 বোনের আইছে আমার আইছে না চিন্তা তো আছে মানুষে কয় ক্যাম্প লয়ে যাব এই বাংলাদেশি বলে কয় বই তো লাগেই
I'm almost at the end of this journey, but there's one last thing that's still left to be done. I'm here in my village in Nagaon district and I'm on my way to an NRC center to find out if I have made it to the list or not, or I still have to prove that I am an Indian.
মেম্বার 3 আসে
I just checked the NRC and thankfully me, my mom and my daughter, we have made it to the list. We can legally call ourselves Indians now. But unfortunately my wife didn't make it to the NRC. There was some sort of documentation error from our end. So for the time being, our NRC saga continues.